Now then, welcome. Thank you for downloading or streaming this podcast. Please be advised, this podcast contains strong language, banter of a sexual or racial nature that some viewers may find offensive. If you are easily offended, please do not listen to this podcast. Spank your... One of the reasons why I do this podcast is because A, I don't get out of the house much, and B, it builds my self-confidence. So every time you guys send a donation or an affiliate or buy something via the affiliate link, as cheesy as it sounds, you really are making my days that bit brighter. To see how you can help the show, simply check the show's show notes.
He got a bicycle!
You wanna play 21?
We got it for you, nigga! Jesus!
Jeff Harvey.
Under in the danger zone.
Minus 5 stars.
What's this Skyway? Hold on.
I don't know!
Look at the adjective.
Hello! Greetings! Alright? What's happening? Your mum. This is episode 2 of Fox Spots, covering action from I really should get this checked before I start recording. But in this episode, we are covering action from the 19th of April 2015 to Thursday, the 23rd of April 2015. As usual, well, as I say as usual, but from the show, we'll be covering a number of things: TNA, WWE Raw, and WWE NXT. So let's go into TNA Impact, and right off the bat, I am very, very pissed off with Matt Hardy. Now, I've had anyone who's known me personally or followed me on Twitter in the past realize that me and Matt Hardy kind of have this thing. It's half banter and it's half, okay, you know, we're both two strong individual people, and every once in a while one will say something that kind of irritates the other, or one will do something that irritates the other. And, you know, you guys can call it a shoot, you guys can call it whatever you want, but I'm just going to tell you guys how it is. On Saturday morning, well, as soon as I woke up on Saturday, and I don't know when that was because you guys know of my mental state, and I'm sure Matt can relate to, you know, dealing with inner demons. On Saturday morning, I woke up, I did my thing, I had breakfast, and I checked Twitter because ponies as in season 5 of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And whilst I was setting up to live tweet my thoughts and reactions to the episode, by the way, I think I'm beginning to think about doing that with Game of Thrones, but Game of Thrones is a completely different kettle of fish. Game of Thrones is one of those shows that you have to tread very, 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 very lightly in terms of context, in terms of characters, thoughts. Your ideas of future actions that they're doing. You know, it's a fucking can of words, and I'm not quite sure if I want to get into that. But whilst I was setting up for ponies and you know, compiling, looking at people who will be posting about ponies, Matt Hardy the night before. Well, we say night before, but the structure of TNA has changed. So basically, the recorded broadcast on the Friday in the States, Matt Hardy changed his default picture to something very spoilery, i.e. that he won, him and his brother won the TNA Tag Team Championships. Now, in the UK, we try to, I mean, it's tough enough as it is, particularly how Impact Wrestling is structured. We try to avoid any kind of spoilers and just try to watch the show as organically as we possibly can. And I kind of felt that, although I really should have told him. In fact, I'm not the type of person to say things behind people's back, because frankly, it's fucking childish. But he changed his default picture to a picture of him in the tag team titles, and he should be proud of that. And I'm happy for him, for real. It's the first time he's won the belts, the TNA belts with his brother. I'm not sure if he's won it before. I'm not sure what straps he's won in TNA. But when he did that really fucking put me in a bad mood, if I'm going to be honest. I haven't blocked him or ignored him or anything. Again, it's childish. It's something that I really want to do as a last resort. I mean, I've spoken about previous beefs before, previous things that's irked me and annoyed me, and out of all those beefs and annoyance, I've blocked one person, and only because this person, I'm going to be honest, and maybe this will be considered as a shoot, but a shoot at the outside of the wrestling terminology. But my family know, not even my close friends, but my family know that this person has pushed me and pissed me off for year upon year upon year, and I just said, I was advised to block this person, completely delete all communications with this person, and I have done. There's only so much that you can take from certain people and certain situations, but that's another story. I still think that Matt Hardy is a ridiculously talented wrestler. He's not my favourite on the mic, nor is his brother Jeff. But I wish them the best of luck in terms of their title reign. And to be honest with you, the people, the two guys that you want to talk about to hold the strap after the Wolves held it for a period of time as they did, I feel that it's a great fit for them. And to conclude the whole tag team thing, it was a wonderful competition nonetheless. Even though I was watching it more for the journey because I already knew the destination, it was a wonderful to watch. I think my favourite match to watch when I think about it in hindsight, looking back, was the Bromans and the Man Bros, or whatever the fuck they're called. To be honest with you, I've never liked that stable. But to be honest with you, I hate that whole kind of Jersey Shore thing. So maybe that stable was great. But the Man Bros against Dirty Heels, the team of Austin Aries and Bobby Roode, or Bobby Roo, as I affectionately call him, or as Matthew would say from Botchamania. I just love the whole wrestling side, and the idea that there's really kind of four heels in the ring, but the way that it was worked, it was almost like they were interchanging during the match. So that was really fun to watch. What else did I enjoy? Oh yeah, I obviously enjoyed the conclusion, which was the Ultimate X match, which was just insane. Although I must say, there were a couple of people on Twitter using the hashtag Impact UK. That's Impact UK. If you are wanting to join the conversation with myself, the boys from Max Wrestling e-magazine, who have been on the show, and I've been on their show, and we're thinking about working again together in the future. I don't want to talk too much about that because it will ruin the surprise, and also you guys know what I'm like in terms of attendance at the moment. I mean, shit, I've been awake since 5. I'm not in the best of moods, so I don't want to give too much away. But if you want to join the conversation about TNA, use the hashtag Impact UK. And I think, guys and girls, I really would like to personally expand on that. So if you're listening to the show, I really feel that we should get together as a wrestling community, as a country, and start using UK behind certain pay-per-views, certain shows. So WWE Raw UK, WWE Raw WWE SmackDown UK, Extreme Rules UK, that kind of thing. I really would love to build my self-confidence up and to build the community up, and just to give something, and to give and to take from each other's situations, because I'm really enjoying the conversations and the banter that happens with UK Impact UK. And furthermore, halfway through the Impact UK show, we were trending, and that's something that I took a picture of on my Twitter. That's at the Fox What WOT, because I was quite proud of that. I was proud that I was a part of trending, and also it brings more attention to my podcast, as well as the Fox Spots and the main show. I can't wait to do the main show tomorrow, but again, we'll talk about that tomorrow. So yeah, the Ultimate X match was just fucking ridiculous. There was a going back to the rest, going back to the ladders point. There was a point where niggas just started getting out ladders, and I was reading on Twitter that there was kind of a thing where people wasn't sure if ladders was actually allowed in the match. But to be honest with you, I can imagine that being a nightmare for the referees. And I remember there being an Ultimate X match between Loki, his partner, I can't remember who it was, but LAX and another group of people. It might have been Billy Gunn and Jesse what's his face. I think Rikishi was in that match as well, but it was sick. And halfway through the match, they brought out tables. I remember there was one spot where Homicide jumped over, was on the ran from one end of the ring to the other, jumped over the top rope, and I believe he hit a moonsault to someone and crashed into a table. I completely forgotten, but I know a table was crashed into, and I believe it was off the top rope or somewhere. It was just a fucking extraordinary moment. So ladders were used. I think that, to the best of my knowledge, the first time I've seen ladders being used, it might be the first time it was used in an Ultimate X match, and it just added that kind of extreme holy shit moment. And also because the Hardys are, as we all know, ladder experts. I'd love to be a fly on the wall when they're actually thinking about spots that they can do, particularly Jeff, who every time I watch, I always fear for his career, particularly that nasty bump that he took before Impact Wrestling went to the UK, a cowbell to the back of the head, and he fell onto steel steps from, I'm terrible with inches, so let's say 15 inches, no, not inches, 15 something up, let's just say that's the best way of doing it. So it just got really, really insane towards the end. And Hardy won, and the way that Hardy won, the Hardys won, I have to take my hats off to them, because again, that was extraordinary. So let's quickly move on because I'm running out of time. Story-wise, we saw a bit more of Eric Young and Kurt Angle. working an angle to for the title match, which will be this Friday in the US on Destination America, and at 9 o'clock on Challenge TV. Okay, again, if you want to join the conversation, love to have you on. Use the hashtag Impact UK and join me and the boys and the girls. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, no, it seems that the Beatdown Clan and the Rising are working. Seem to be teased in the feud. So, are we going to see an Eric Young turn to face? I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, I was listening to Eric on the Steve Austin show. I believe it was last week, and he was saying, you know, his heel turn was the first heel turn in 10 years. Please quote me if I'm wrong, but it was a long period of time since he turned, and I believe he's had this heel run for since the beginning of this year. I believe he lost the belt to Lashley, and the Beatdown Clan debuted when it was Lashley versus Rude 3, or possibly no, I believe it was 2. It was 2 when they debuted. So we're talking. Actually, you know what? I think it might have been last year. So yeah, no. Again, just to let you guys know, I was not watching TNA last year. I've only started getting into the product this year when it was touring the UK in January, February of 2015. So I have no idea in terms of dates, feuds, angles, all that kind of good stuff. So to be honest with you, I missed when we had Eric Young face title run. I missed all of that, and I've been very comfortable watching Eric do his crazy thing, but do his crazy thing as a heel, and it's kind of worked. And every once in a while, he's kind of looked kind of generic during the run. But I have to tell you, there's a period of time where he was doing the face. When he was doing the face run, and I got bored after a period of time, and I believe it was after he married ODB. Maybe that's just me being a twat, because I just don't believe in marriage. It's a waste of money. Again, that's something we can talk about another time and place. But yeah, no, we'll see what happens when the attention turns to the Knockouts and Eric Young and Kurt Angle this week, which links me nicely into the Knockouts. And there was I can't remember if there was any matches. Please forgive me if there was, and I've forgotten. Between the Knockouts, but it was announced that there's going to be a night of knockouts. I believe it's called TKO. And sorry, I'm getting my head's getting you know what? I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm just gonna grab a glass of water. Give me a second. I'm actually tempted. I've realised it's the second week in a row where I've had to take a breath. Because I felt lightheaded, I felt dizzy. Those of you who are new to the show and new to my podcast, I have to explain something, but I do suffer from anxiety, depression, and Asperger's syndrome. So whenever I kind of hype myself up to do these podcasts, it's just like this fucking there's a word that I'm looking for. This broken water vein of vocabulary. Let's go with that. I know vocabulary is not a word, but let's go with that. Of words, emotion, emotions and all that good stuff. I feel that as an artist, I'm a performing artist. I've been trained as an actor for over 10 years, and now I kind of class myself as a performing artist because at the moment I'm doing a lot of work from home because I don't want my conditions to take away the work that I've been doing for over 10 years. So I feel that every time I get kind of lightheaded, I feel an idea what I could do is to post this day in history, a promo package from one of my favorite feuds, either this day or this week in history. I think those boys from Max Wrestling do something kind of similar. They take a break and they put on a piece of music. So that's something to consider. So yeah, no, TKO will be on Impact Wrestling this week, and it features basically the main couple of talking points is I believe it's a battle royale. Or maybe it's another knockout match, knockout tournament. But anyway, we're going to be having some kind of tournament to determine the next number one contender to Terrell's knockout title. And speaking of the girl, she will be defending her title against Awesome Kong. Now, I've seen Terrell work live in the UK, and she's a fucking ridiculously hard worker, and also she's one of the few females who can do hardcore. Fucking hashtag context. I might have to go ahead and Google that towards the end after the show if she actually has done. Yeah, mine out of the gutter. Anyway, she's a wrestler who's very comfortable doing Extreme Rules matches. We've seen her go through a table. We've seen her fight Gail Kim in arguably one of the greatest hardcore wrestling female matches our generation has ever seen, if not ever. I feel it was one of the best things I've ever seen in terms of women wrestling. It was magnificent. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the feud between Lita and Trish Stratus. Towards the end of the Attitude Era, going into the Ruthless Aggression era, where both females were at the peak of their career. So that's what Terrell kind of reminds me of. You guys know me with fucking names. My brain's died, so apologies. I can see her name, but I can't say it. Yeah, I mean, she took a couple of nasty bumps whilst wrestling with Kong in Manchester. Kong is a ridiculously dangerous woman anyway because of her size and because of her sheer intensity that she brings into the ring. So I'm really interested to see how both dynamics will play off each other. Another thing that I would have liked to see in terms of future bookings is Terrell and Kong working a feud where it is hardcore, because there's so many ways that so much creative freedom that will give both wrestlers, and it kind of feels like we've had a trilogy of these matches. I'm excluding the triple threat match between Terrell, Kong, and Kim, because I kind of feel like that was a completely different feud. And also, I I don't know. It just kind of felt like that they were working towards that anyway. But now we have it where it's just the two of them, and I'd love to see another defining moment where those two fight. In terms of number one contenders, who would I like to see? Oh, wow. I was kind of saying this on previous shows, but the Knockouts division kind of feels really small to me. There's no one who I dislike less than anyone else, because I feel that the commentator said it last week that it is the strongest division in the world. Don't get me wrong, TNA is extraordinary. It's certainly an up and coming, exciting brand, the Divas division because of the size of the WWE universe is always going to be fighting in terms of the quality of wrestlers there. But to be honest with you, I consider that the bottom of the pile. To me, it's WWE, NXT, and TNA in terms of sheer pro female wrestling. TNA has the best female division out of the big three, if you will, in the world. To the best of my knowledge, Ring of Honor doesn't have a female division. Shimmer and Shine, as much as I'd be interested in both of those brands outside the UK and someone who heavily relies on the audience to the art of asking, as Amanda Palmer would say. Quick side note: I'm going to try and see her in Manchester, and I'm also going to see if I can get her on the show. But that's something to talk about tomorrow. I feel that the Knockouts is the best division in the world. So with that being said, the best female wrestler who's proved herself time and time again. Oh gosh, this is tricky. I think it's going to be between Gail Kim and the blonde from The Beautiful People. Again, her name's just completely melted. Like I said, verbal diarrhea. That's what I'm about. That's what these podcasts are about. But she seems to have the momentum in terms of mic, in terms of positioning. She seems to have the win between her the win between her swiggly things, and I don't know. I just generally feel it might be her time to shine again. I can't remember the last time she actually had a title run, so why not? So I feel that will bring us nicely into WWE, and let's quickly talk about the Divas. Now, Paige has gone AWOL, and you kind of had the feeling that in terms of Extreme Rules, either they were going to go towards a triple threat match, or they were going to have some kind of thing where Naomi causes Paige to prolong her third title reign, or they were just going to completely write her out. And it would seem that at the moment they've written her out. And to the best of my knowledge, I believe we're still going to have the title match between Paige and Nikki, but it would seem that it would seem to me that I don't know what they're going to do, to be honest with you. But I was really intrigued with that match. I felt that there was some great storytelling that was going on. Brie really surprised me, actually, because Brie kind of looked really good. She didn't look strong, but she looked good during that match with Naomi, who, to be honest with you, I think it's a travesty that she has not had a title run. She kind of feels like the William Regal of the Divas division, because she's someone who should have been at the top of the pile in a prime. I believe that was I believe that was when the Funkadactyls were working together, and she looked really good there. She was aerobatic, she was lively, she kind of felt she had an idea of what the audience wanted. So now she's gone into heel mode. What the fuck? Excuse me. What is this? Oh, I was watching a promo of Drew Galloway, and I pressed my browser, and yeah, that came up. So I was just gonna quickly check if we are still gonna have Paige versus Nikki Bella. I've also just seen. Oh yes. I've also just seen we're gonna have a free for all Chicago street fight between Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper. I can't wait for that match. I can't wait for it. I'm actually excited because we last week on the show I noticed that there was. Okay, yeah. I also noticed last week on the show that they were doing the Ziggler versus Sheamus in my Kiss My Ass match, because Extreme Rules, gay. Anyway, so yeah, no, it's confirmed that Paige has been written out of that feud. The argument being that she's inverted brackets injured, out of inverted brackets. So Naomi's taking that place, and I would imagine that Nikki will be trying to wrestle face, even though to the best of my knowledge she and her sister have been heel, but because of this Paige brackets injury, out of brackets, it kind of gives them a chance to work the face angle. I think it's the same thing in terms of the Cesaro and Kid New Day match that's going to be on. I don't know what the pre-card's going to be. The match that we're going to see on the WWE Network on the pre-show. I thought it would have been Cesaro and Cesaro Kid and the New Day, but I don't know. But yeah, no. It's gonna be interesting to see, because I in my heart it kind of feels like it's gonna be heel against heel, but it's gonna be interesting to see how they work that feud. But I'm really excited now for the Ambrose and Luke Harper match. I feel both men are ridiculously good workers. They're good fighters. Both of them have a distinct style, and to put those two sons of bitches in a street fight, that could be. Booker T said this a couple of weeks ago. This could be a main event card in my mind. Don't shoot the messenger. All these thoughts were my own thoughts, but this could be a main event on any card in the world, in any fucking promotional, in any fucking brand. I feel that I love these two guys that much. And I wish there was a way that we could push them both into, let's be honest, the two big belts at the moment, and so it should be, are the I'm going to say this and it's going to piss people off, but the United States belt and the WWE heavyweight belt. I kind of feel, for some unknown reason, that yet again you've got a former heavyweight champion in terms of Daniel Bryan fighting someone who frankly should have had the main strap in his prime. I feel that he doesn't have his prime at the moment, Wade Barrett. And the way that this angle has come about, it's just, I don't even know if I actually just reminded myself that it's actually on the card. I do not care for this feud. And I don't know why it is. I don't know if I'm bored of Bryan. I don't know if it's WWE's creative's fault. I don't know if it's our fault. I don't know if it's SmackDown's fault. But there is something wrong with that feud. There is something wrong with Bryan's title run with the Intercontinental title, and it just makes me think I don't care. I don't care for this. I don't care for that fight at all. So yeah, I would say tag titles, Divas titles, tag titles, Intercontinental, US, and obviously the main strap. If I've missed a belt, then that pretty much tells you that it's a belt that no one cares about. So let's move on to a brand that everyone cares about, because everyone has their own opinion on it. As in, is it or is it not a brand? Now, officially, it's not a brand. WWE NXT. But, you know, there's a lot of smarks and there's a lot of marks and there's a lot of people in the industry who think that the quality of wrestling, forget the wrestlers for 1 second, the quality of wrestling, the quality of matches is making people stand up, take notice and say, yes, this is a brand. And it's so NXT. Couple of things to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is Finn Balor and his new feud with Tyler Breeze, which I kind of felt was a natural transition after the epic Hitami Hideo Tyler Breeze feud that went on for many months. I believe it went. I think it was a feud that lasted half the year. Don't quote me. But yeah, I know that there's going to be a lot of people interested in this feud. There was a period where I was really interested in Breeze's work. Now, not so much. To be honest with you, I'm really questioning, as in, why Finn Balor is still on the NXT books. But on the flip side of that, you have to argue, why is Charlotte still on those books? I want to talk about Charlotte in a bit more detail in a few seconds. But to me, I feel whoever wins this feud in terms of gets over with the audience, I feel that is going to be the person who I would like to see in a number one contendership kind of run up. Given a chance to, to battle Kevin Owens, or the winner between Kevin Owens and the number one contender, who is, holy shit. No, don't do this to me, brain. Sami Zayn. I really would like to see that. So let's quickly talk about the NXT Divas quickly, because again we're running out of time. The technical wrestling and the psychology in that match was just fucking ridiculous, and at some points it was fucking it was really exciting to watch, and at other points it was soul sucking. And it was soul sucking in a good way, in a psychological way. You kind of felt that the winds of change were kind of blowing towards Becky Lynch. And I have said this. Paige has said this. Who else was? I think Charlotte herself on Sam's podcast has said this. Becky Lynch is really underrated on the WWE NXT female roster, and there's a few of us who have been scratching our heads as to why. And I feel that the reason why it is that I think it's Charlotte. Once Charlotte gets into I feel that Charlotte is waiting for the right moment to jump onto the main roster and to really push the envelope for frankly, like I said earlier in the show, to a Divas division that frankly needs to play catch up with everyone in terms of women's wrestling. So I feel that Charlotte is waiting for that right moment, and what better moment than a triple threat match. I kind of feel bad for Bayley as well, because with that match she was very much she was favoured, but I feel that she couldn't get over, particularly in that halfway point where Becky started to target Bayley's legs and really slow the match down, really fucking take the energy out. It was almost to a point where it was boring, but it was boring because it was good technical wrestling. It was good technical wrestling used to take the audience away from the match, away from Bayley, and to suck the life out of it. And I think that the way that Becky did that was really good on her part, and she should be what's the word I'm looking for? She should be praised for that, and I'm really looking forward to this feud between. Oh yeah, the ending. Charlotte went for a figure 8, as she calls it, because she says it's better than her daddy's, and I completely concur. The extra, the weight from the yoga style, fucking backwards dog, I believe it's called, that she does, plus using her lower core to lock in the figure 4, and just adds up to a ridiculous amount of tension. So whilst Charlotte was doing that, and whilst Bayley was struggling to get out of that, Becky Lynch took the opportunity to crawl into the ring. Bayley had both her shoulders down, right arm over Bayley. 1, 2, 3, forget about it. And the thing is that Charlotte actually thought that Bayley kind of had her shoulders down, and it was her in the who was going to get the win. So of course she's not going to challenge it. And also it kind of shows that move does have its disadvantages. The fact that Charlotte cannot see what's ahead of her, which is, I feel that there should be an argument whether is the figure 8 better than the figure 4, and I feel that there'll be a million reasons, there'll be a million pros for and a million cons against both moves. But the way that match finished, it was brilliant. So I commend her with that, and it kind of feels like now that Charlotte, Sasha Banks is now playing. She's still quite heely, but the chemistry between those two, particularly the backstage thing that we had halfway through the NXT match was brilliant. I kind of wanted to see like a backstage brawl between those two, but we were going to have a brawl, and it was towards the and it was after the main event, which was Kevin Owens and Alex Riley. I've got to tell you guys right off the bat, after I drink this little bit of water, that's lovely. I love Riley's intensity, and I really like the fact that he's kept his own piece of music, because I've always thought that was badass anyway. But I feel at the moment him and the Kevin Owens storyline lost a bit of momentum. I felt if you wanted to do something big with that kind of feud, you should have done it at the Arnold Classic, and just left it there. I feel that the beatdown that Riley got at the Arnold Classic, and he had to have Finn Balor save him, that should have been left there, and there alone. Just left it there. Because now it's kind of like the thing that I was talking about last week with I can't remember who it was. I think it was Bobby Roode and A-Double. You know, these are two great wrestlers, but it kind of feels like once you put them in a it was Bram. The way that feud ended, and it kind of felt like Bram had nowhere else to go. And then the week afterwards, it kind of was like announced that he's going to be in a tag team with EC3. I feel that I'm a bit worried for Riley, because as much as I love his intensity and the momentum that he had with Owens, where does it go from there? Are we going to put him in a fucking tag team? Are we going to put him in a stable? I don't know. So I'll be watching NXT next week to see what happens. But the storytelling was very good. The storytelling was very good, but it wasn't pay-per-view quality. It was just a TV show kind of quality. It didn't grip me the way that the triple threat Divas match has gripped me, and this is why I'm saying it is the next big thing, the female division in NXT. But yeah, I believe we're calling Kevin Owens Powerbomb Lights Out, which kind of makes sense. Which kind of, in my mind, makes sense. You know, continuing with the whole O theme, KO. You know, LO. You know, if we can find another L somewhere, we can have it as LOL. But no. So yeah, no. Lights Out. 1, 2, 3. Forget about it. And then afterwards, it looked like Owens was going to give a power bomb on the apron, which is a fucking ruthless spot to do. And I would imagine he's going to do that on very, very small occasions. Quickly, before the end of the episode, there are rumours circulating that the curve stomp is now banned. Not happy. To be brutally honest and quickly, if you're going to blame anyone for having that move banned, ban the people who can't take it, who can't receive that move. I feel that Seth does everything in his power to do that move safely, and if people aren't receiving that move, keeping their end of that move and in order to do it safely, then it's their own goddamn fucking cunt fault. End of story. That move should not be banned. Anyway, so Kevin Owens was about to do Lights Out on the apron, and out comes Sami Zayn, and then a huge brawl happens. And on that note, I'm going to end the story. I'm going to end this episode because I've overshot again. So tomorrow I'm going to be talking once again about all things performing arts. Also, we are edging ever more closer to the 5-year anniversary of The Hunger Within, which is the first theatrical piece that was written and directed by myself. So that's going to be a huge talking point on my show tomorrow. And hopefully we're going to have the photographer who took a lot of photos and who helped me a lot in terms of creating the feel of that project. And her name is Donna Crabdock, and she works for Click Click Bang Bang Photography. You guys check that brand out. Fucking brilliant, up and coming photography band. Very dark, very Danielle Kunstel. Apologies if I've mispronounced her name, but if you like your photography dark, if you love your artistic work dark and moody, I can't recommend you guys enough check her work out. So yeah, hopefully she'll be on the show tomorrow. I'm going to end this episode by opening a new thing up called my spot of the week. And I'm going to be, I just want to quickly talk about honourable mentions. The first honourable mention would be the TNA Ultimate X match, where Mr. Matt Hardy does a twist of fate to some poor swine off the top of a ladder. I mean, if that match wasn't fucking dangerous enough, we had that shit. Honourable mentions, I've already said it. Triple threat match. Charlotte going for a figure 8. And Becky Lynch crawling into position to pin Bayley. 1, 2, 3. Forget about it, to become the number one contender to the NXT Women's title. And I'm missing one. What am I missing? Yes. Randy Orton and Seth Rollins in a steel cage. Rollins trying to escape Randy Orton after being trapped in the cage with him. Seth Rollins crawling up the steel cage, trying to beat down Randy Orton. Seth Rollins kicking him with his foot, and Randy Orton manages to pull him off. Not only does he pull him off, he manages to get him in a position to hit another perfect RKO. I feel that Randy Orton and Charlotte are one of the two people in wrestling at the moment that I've seen that makes everything look so fucking perfect, almost scripted, just perfect execution of that of another RKO. But my spot of the week is WWE NXT after the Kevin Owens Alex Riley match, where a huge brawl breaks out. You would have thought it settled down. Sami Zayn goes into the middle of the ring trying to beckon on Owens. He's got Owens has got all these fucking security guards, all these NXT officials holding him back in a very, very convenient part of the arena, kind of like the bottom right corner of the arena. And you're kind of thinking they're cooking up something, but what we saw was extraordinary. Not only did we see the jump into everyone spot, but Sami Zayn did one better. Not only did he jump onto the top apron in the bottom right corner of the arena, I can't remember what this flip is called, but he flips in the air, landing on his back, taking out everyone, the officials, the referees, Owens himself. It was just a huge clusterfuck, fucking demolition derby of destruction caused by that one flip. I need to remember to put these fucking notes in the description, but I encourage you to at least YouTube it. The end of that match, Sami Zayn flipping onto NXT officials, referees, Owens. It's just a fucking extremely good spot. And that is Fox Makeba's spot. That is Fox's spot of the week. The 19th to the 23rd of April. Remember to check out the show next week, because remember, next week I'm going full force.